Hello and welcome. I'm Rebecca Ray. I have the privilege of leading the U.S. Human Capital Center here at the Conference Board, and I am absolutely thrilled to be sharing with you one of several offerings in our benchmarking and data analytics tools, brand new as part of your valued membership at the Conference Board. Today, I'm excited to be here with two legends, and they are from the RBL group, and I could not be more thrilled with the partnership and also for the opportunity to share this with you. I think all of us in the profession know Norm Smallwood and Dave Ulrich. They are the co-founders of the RBL group, which has made an incredible impact on the kinds of work that we do in human capital. They together have dozens and dozens of books. I'm not sure which one is the winner of the total, but it's in triple digits. But they have made an incredible impact on the profession for a very long time. They're both, in addition to the RBL group work, both at the University of Michigan, the Ross School of Business, and collectively, I have been the beneficiary of their wisdom for many years when I was a practitioner. I'm so appreciative of the partnership between the RBL group and us, and so thrilled to have both Dave and Norm join me today, and thank you. So let me take just a moment to share with you some of the new data and benchmarking tools that are available as part of your membership. You've probably seen the refresh of our website in recent weeks called MyTCB. It's an opportunity for each of you when you sign in as a member to see curated content and to have a variety of tools and memberships and areas of interest be brought right to you. If you see the blue bar there that says MyTCB, you can see that the third one in talks about data and benchmarking. And when you click that, it will take you to these three brand new opportunities. Now, we're going to spend the bulk of our time today talking about the organizational guidance system, but I want to mention that there are two others as well, and there are informational session videos available on demand for this as well. First is the HC Metrics platform. It's an AI-driven benchmarking platform brought to us by our partnership with HC Moneyball. It is a unique benchmarking system. You can't find it anywhere else. This has been custom built for the TCB members in the Human Capital Center, and it allows you to determine materiality as well as specific human capital metrics, and that's only going to become more and more important as we see how the SEC will move from suggestions to something more prescriptive as time goes on. And this tool will allow you to marry human capital metrics with financial performance, and that's an incredible gift, and we're so appreciative of their partnership. We're also partnering with Jack and Patty Phillips of the ROI Institute on building out the ROI repository for human capital investments. Many of us have been ROI practitioners and have leveraged that tool. Here you will see tools, templates, case studies. It will walk you through the ways in which you can use ROI to determine the impact of your programs. And we're so grateful for their partnership as well. But let me take just a moment to bring your attention to the one in the center. And that's the organizational guidance system. Now, here is, I don't want to take anyone's thunder, but it's a wonderful opportunity to do something that is different from the other two, but I hope very much in parallel, because this is going to help you determine where to put your energy and your focus and your precious dollars. So let me turn this over to you, Dave, and to ask you to take us through sort of the background, the rationale, the way in which the organizational guidance system is built and designed to be of tremendous value to sitting CHROs and their companies, because these are the benefits. We know it's part of an assessment process that can help you with a strategy map. These are the reasons why our members are going to be so excited to hear more about this. Thank you for joining me today, Dave.
You know, we need organizational guidance, and for some of us, we need technological guidance. Next slide. We are so delighted to partner with Rebecca and the Conference Board. And I want to just share with you some information about what this concept of guidance means. So next slide. I'm going to start with some definition because language in this whole field is very confusing. So let me tell you how we've come to conclude what this language looks like. When we think about what we call human capability, it's comprised of four things. One, talent. That's human capital. That's competence, workforce, people in red. Organization. Talent are my fingers. I got all my fingers. I got all the competence. Organization is my fists, the capability, the workplace. You've got to have great people, but you've got to have a great organization. Leadership combines the two. both individual leaders and the leadership pipeline. And then my forearms represent the HR services and systems, the HR department, the HR practices, and the HR people. When we talk about human capability, we talk about talent, my fingers, organization, my fist, leadership, the combination, and my forearms that hold those together. Next slide. When we look at that, we believe that now is the time. It's a great quote for human capability. You can look across any of these 6 issues, and Rebecca alluded to some of them. We think the 2008-9 recession was the financial and economic crisis. 2020-21 and beyond, global pandemic, social injustice. This is the human capability crisis. The intangibles, which often refer to human capability, are a larger part of overall market value, either debt or equity. The Business Roundtable, number 3, senior business executive said we have to have profit and purpose, profit and people, the purpose. As Rebecca alluded to, the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission in the United States, now requires a human capital element or human capability of their reports. Groups are exploring culture, standards are being set. Next slide. All of those ideas begin to suggest that now is the time. Now is the time for human capability and human resources to move. We see 3 trends in those now is the time. 1, HR is not about HR. Our job as HR is not to do HR. It's to deliver value to all the stakeholders. What do I do in HR that creates value for the employee, the business strategy inside, the customer, the investor outside? Number 2, how do I deliver that value? Well, I contribute human capability, talent, organization, leadership to make that happen. And number 3, I reinvent HR. I reinvent the HR department, the HR people, and how we in HR contribute to business. Given those trends, here's the question we ask. And it's a fundamental question that this entire program with my TCB and the conference board is helping you answer. We're so proud to work with HC Moneyball. We're so proud to work with the Phillips, Jack and Patty. They have done such great work. We've loved their work at the ROI Institute. We've endorsed it. We've seen it. We've learned from it. We hope we complement it. But here's your question. Are your investments in human capability, talent, organization, leadership, giving the results that matter to you? Let me say it again. Are your investments giving you the results that matter to you? Next slide. For example, do a simple test. Think of all of these initiatives in the last period of time in your organization. Have you tried any of these? A focus on efficiency, process improvement, digital reinvention, pay for performance, team incentives, agility, leadership, emotion, culture, strategic redirection. Wow. Sometimes we could actually have a contest. Who's done the most of these in the last few months? There's a lot of them. And those things keep coming and coming and coming as we get ideas that are so critical. Next slide. But here's the question on the next slide. Next slide, Norm. How do you know of all these initiatives? How do you measure their effectiveness? Now, HC Moneyball's got an approach. Jack and Patty Phillips have an approach. Let me tell you the second question. Were they the right capability investments for your organization? Next slide. Here's what we believe is happening in the field of human capability. We have a dashboard, we have a scorecard. I wrote a book with 2 brilliant colleagues, Mark Huslet and Brian Becker, the HR scorecard. A scorecard or a dashboard is information to compare myself to someone else. And you have the normal distribution. Where do I rank in that distribution? Then we love insights. We love best practice. Who should I turn to? Who's the best? We always get asked, who's the best at this? Who's the best at that? Then I want to do predictive analytics. Why are they the best? We believe that those 3 platforms are so critical. But what we're interested in is the one in blue, impact. How do I know what's right for me? How do I know what I should be doing? How do I know what will help my organization and give me the impact that's important? We don't call that benchmarking or best practice or predictive analytics. We call it guidance. Next slide. And what guidance does, and these ideas of guidance are so cool. Career guidance. Career guidance is not a generic term. When I was young, I went to a guidance counselor who told me to Stay out of the arts because I have no musical ability. And they said, what's your passion? What's your interest in retirement? What is it you want out of retirement? What's right for you? And your investment, how much risk are you willing to take? In your user guides, you get guidance that gives you direction about what you want. And so the concept of organizational guidance is not just a benchmark, not just to do a best practice assessment, or not just to do predictive analytics, but what guides me. Next slide. And that begins to shift us from description. Description is, how am I doing? How am I doing on my scorecards, my dashboards, my insights? What's happening? What we want to move is to prescription. What should we be doing? What are the right choices, the right solutions? What should I do to get what matters most to me? I think of dieting. We have the 4 food groups, and then we all begin to figure out what's the system that will help me get the health and weight that's good for me. We want to create that similar kind of a guidance system for you and your organization. Next slide. We believe that guidance starts with results. We've got to have a sense, what are the results that we care about? What are the results in health? What's the health I'm worried about? We believe in the stakeholder work that many have done says there's 5 results. I want to get employee results, well-being, productivity, and the conference board has such good data on that. I want to get strategy results, a differentiated position, an ability to execute. I also want my customer results outside the company, my net promoter score. I want financial results, profitability, revenue, sales, market value, low cost of capital, and I want to have citizenship results. We believe that those are the results on the one hand that I want to create. Next slide. I then say, where can I invest in human capability to make them happen? And I started with our definition. We believe there's 4 human capability pathways. I'll start with talent. Do we have the right talent, my fingers, the individuals, to deliver those results? If I'm changing my strategy, what have I got to do with my people? Do we have the right organization? Do I have the right fist? Do I have the right organization systems and capabilities? Do I have the right leadership? And do I have the right human resource processes and systems? We believe that those are the 4 pathways, almost like the 4 food groups. I can now apply them to deliver the results that matter to me. Next slide. So this is the logic. I can start at either side of this equation. I can start with the results and say, next slide, on the results, this is the result that I'm trying to create. I want to create better customer results because in my world, customer is changing. I want to create a better strategy. We've been working with a company that's moving from a product strategy to a service strategy. I want to create better employee engagement in this new world, or social citizenship. Because of says these are the human capability pathways that will make that happen. Or I can start with the capability. I want to invest in leadership training so that the results will happen. Next slide. I can now begin to connect the HR practices, the human capability practices, the rows, with the outcomes. Look at this grid. You probably can't read it. There's 5 columns. These are the outcomes my company cares about: employee, strategy, customer. Look at the rows: talent, leadership, organization, HR. In each of those 4 areas, talent, leadership, organization, HR, we've identified initiatives. We have 37 initiatives times 5 rows. We have 185 cells. In the next 12 months, where should you invest? Where should you invest? In order to increase customer, financial, or responsibility outcomes, which of those cells should you invest in? Or on the other side, I want to build my leadership. What's the outcome I'm going to get? The organization guidance system will be an information source that will tell you where you can and should invest in order to deliver the outcomes that you care about the most. We believe this changes our field of HR. When we sit down with business leaders, it's all about the outcomes that we want to give them. Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Dave. What we want to do now is share a case, and then Rebecca and I will talk a little bit about how you can access this. And today we've got a free version of this that you can access through the conference board. And And we encourage you to try this out. If what Dave said was interesting to you, then just go to the link that gets you into RBL.ai, and you can you or a cohort of people in your organization can try that out. But let's look at a case study here, and we fill this grid out. These green boxes represent areas in the portfolio that Dave was just showing that have most impact. So in employee results, we're seeing that acquiring talent and in leadership business case has the most impact on employee results. So the green bars represent areas where if this organization, and these are the global aggregate results, if your organization had these results, then if you wanted to drive customer results or financial results or social responsibility results, you just look at the green bars. Well, we have a recent client that has brought the organization guidance system in and has adopted it as their human capability approach. And what they decided, to answer Dave's question of whether we start with stakeholder results or the human capability pathways, they decided as a healthcare company that what they wanted was greater customer results. So what is it that this company could do that would drive greater customer results so that they would have higher levels of customer engagement, higher NPS, and so on? And so, to make a very simple chart, rather than looking at all of them, if this company, this specific company, wants to increase their customer results, then the report that they got rank ordered the things that they needed to do in each of the four pathways to drive customer results. So we see the star in talent for communicating. In leadership, ensure reputation and build a business case. Under organization, getting greater customer centricity. And for the HR department, it was increasing the sense of purpose and the relationships that the HR department had with both internal and external stakeholders. Now, this is what's really interesting about this is what it didn't choose for them, right? It didn't say some of the things that are popular, but it prioritized what it is that this organization should do to better drive business results. So let's just go through some examples of the kinds of things that this company could do. So the highest impact of customer results through talent is, interestingly enough, to communicate with employees about their role with customers. So just some tips here, right? To communicate with employees, have a comprehensive strategy, work with line managers to send and receive clear and consistent messages, and also some hints for communication. Again, there's no rocket science in these tips. It's just a reminder of the kinds of things, the kinds of initiatives that an organization might take in order to increase customer results through talent. When we look at the next one, what can we do with leadership? Normally, the answer with leadership is people tend to want to work on improving the competency model, or they want to do leadership development training about maybe how customers or how leaders can connect customers to employees. But the answer for this company was creating a very explicit business case for leadership. And in our experience, this is something that most companies don't do a very good job. Typically, we often have a business case for leadership that is, the business case is that we have a budget to do leadership training. And what this is saying is, where should we build leadership capability to support our growth and to support our customers? So the business case needs to be data-driven. It needs to be understood by our leaders. Everything else that we do should be driven by our business case. It's something that when we try to impact financial results through investor confidence, we can communicate this business case at the beginning of training and development programs as the way to ensure that our leadership competency model or profile has the right elements. It shapes the resource allocation and priorities. And some examples of great business cases would be to increase investor confidence in the future. Or one of the things that we see when we do these business cases, often in very high growth companies, is that the leaders aren't doing as good a job as connecting customers and employees because they're hiring leaders or promoting leaders faster than they can ensure the kind of reputation that they want to have, or to reduce turnover or strengthen the pipeline to support business transformation. But you need to go through and identify your business case for your leaders. Now we move to another tip around impacting customer results through organization. And the tip here are some ideas around increasing customer centricity. So with customer centricity, how do we build an organization capability that ensures lasting relationships of trust with these key customers? And so some tips, right? Do we know who our key customers are? Have we segmented them in ways that when we're dealing with them, we can ensure that they get the right experience? Do we know, once we've segmenting them, do we create the conditions where we really have great relations with those customers that we're targeting for our products and services? Do we have dedicated teams and clear strategies? And do we behave in ways that add value to these key customers? Finally, what could we do in HR? And sometimes we're not sure why the guidance comes out the way it is, but in this case, guidance was telling us that to increase customer results, we needed to improve the vision of HR. And so here's an idea about creating an HR vision statement. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Why do you do it? And this vision statement for HR really creates the logic for how HR does everything else in order to improve customer intimacy. For example, the kind of people that we hire. We looked at the value of talent acquisition. To train and develop, to build that business case for leaders. All of the things that HR can do for both internal and external stakeholders are really captured by this HR vision statement. So in summary, I'll just gave you a case, but Dave talked about how the organization guidance system was an interactive platform that looks at the interaction between human capability, the 4 human capability areas, and the 5 stakeholder result areas. So we're getting a because of and a so that relationship that ensures that we're prioritizing the human capability activities and initiatives that will have the most impact on the results that your organization wants to achieve.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Norm and Dave, for taking us through what is an incredible guidance system, just as it's called, because if you don't know where you're headed, any road will take you, which I think is Alice in Wonderland. But nevertheless, here's a great tool that will take you through. And just to refresh your memory, those of you who are watching, you need to log on to the conference board site. You'll see this as an option for you under My TCB. You click through data and benchmarking, and you select any one of the 3 tools. And here, of course, we're talking about the organizational guidance system. When you click through, it will take you to the RBL site. And that's where you can get started on the different assessments. And on this next slide, you'll be able to see exactly what that looks like. And you'll also be able to begin the process of determining the course of action that's right for your organization. You know, I know as a former practitioner, it's always tempting to say, well, these great organizations are doing this. Well, that may or may not, to Dave's point, that may or may not be exactly what's necessary for your organization. So this is how you get started. We've already reached out to every sitting CHRO and asked for them for their participation. They're going to determine who the administrator is for this, and they're going to reach out to the people that on their team whom they want to participate in this. And out of this will be generated a really robust set of tools and a report that will help you make the right decisions. So on the next slide, you'll see the people who are poised to help you. On the TCB side, Steve Economy and M.A. Moran are both directors of member engagement, and they have a special relationship with each member of the center, and they can help in any questions that you might have about access. And then once you're on the RBL site or have issues perhaps getting in, you can see that Nate Walter and Sue Todd are poised to help as well, and that's their contact information. So with that, I will thank those of you who joined to watch the video, and I hope you watch the others on the other offerings that we have. But I want to end with saying how deeply appreciative I am of the opportunity to partner with Norm and Dave and the entire RBL team. You know, as a practitioner, I was the beneficiary of their wisdom for a long time. They're legends. It's an honor to partner with them. And we look forward to doing many things together, not the least of which is this opportunity that we've talked about today, but also a series of webcasts that we'll be doing and an annual State of Human Capital report where we really try to distill all of the wisdom that we've taken from these various opportunities here. Hope you'll come along with us on the journey. Thank you again, Dave and Norm, not only for being here today, but for your very generous spirit in partnership. Thank you.